Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZedGamesAU.
Welcome to Zed Games. My name's Hazel. Here in the studio with me are...
Zahra!
And...
Rani! I was just over there, and now I'm over here.
It's like you
snuck
teleported.
in.
Oh my
You
goodness.
phased through the wall.
You know that hole in the wall that we patched up during Radiothon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've chewed my way back through it. So that
Rani!
I can get through between the studios with ease.
Yeah, actually,
Right through the
I'm looking
insulating
at
foam.
it now, and there's the little mouse-sized tunnel,
Yeah.
which is also coincidentally Rani-sized.
Yes.
How are we tonight?
I am
good.
doing great. How are you?
I am also doing great. I'm very excited about what we got on tonight.
What do we have?
What do we
Coming
have?
up, we got the news, as
Oh.
usual.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good news if you ask me.
Oh,
Well, I have fun news to talk about.
And we also have a review coming up later.
mm-hmm.
We got a lot to talk about. I reckon we should start with this news.
I think we should too.
This week in gaming news, Palladium and Bungie collaboration. Destiny Guardians are no stranger to making sure they look their best or most absurd in-game. So the more fashionable Guardians may be excited to learn that Palladium, the shoe company, are collaborating with Bungie to create boots inspired by the Witch Queen. These boots come in tan and black, made of canvas, and have some Destiny 2 flair. Wizards of the Coast cast lawsuit. Wizards of the Coast, the current publisher of the popular Dungeons & Dragons tabletop role-playing game, has filed a lawsuit to prevent the release of Star Frontier's New Genesis, a space opera in a tabletop role-playing game format, being developed under TSR LLC. TSR LLC is the latest company to claim the name of TSR Incorporated. The original publishers were Dungeons & Dragons in 1973. TSR LLC is attempting to revive the original Star Frontiers. However, with an online leak, Star Frontier's New Genesis has been facing a significant amount of backlash due to racist and transphobic content, including a Negro subrace with a maximum intelligence rating of 9. Wizards of the Coast writes that it would be irreparably harmed by the publication and distribution of the game using its trademarks because consumers may mistakenly associate Wizards with the reprehensible content of the game, damaging its reputation and goodwill, and undermining its efforts to foster a culture that embraces diversity. Northeastern University bomb. A staff member of Northeastern University has suffered injuries to his hands when he opened a package that was detonated. Investigation is still ongoing, with motive being at the forefront of concerns. It's been reported the package contained a note that criticized Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook's founder, and the relationship between virtual reality developers and academic institutions. This note was contained in a hard plastic container and detonated when the latches were released and the lid was lifted. Thankfully, the staff member was not seriously injured. State of Play, Nintendo Direct, and more. Sony, Nintendo, and Ubisoft have made many announcements for upcoming projects and games during Tokyo Game Show, one of the big three gaming conferences. Sony announced Tekken 8, Star Wars Tales of the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition, Demio, a dungeon crawler, Like a Dragon Inshin, a Yakuza spin-off, Pacific Drive, a driving survival game, and a new loyalty program called PlayStation Stars. Nintendo brought The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Fire Emblem Engage, Pikmin 4, and some old favorites will come into the Nintendo Switch Online via the expansion pack membership subscription, such as Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, Pokemon Stadium, and GoldenEye 007. Ubisoft follows up with Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Skull and Bones, a pirate simulator, Riders Republic for BMX, skateboarding, and snowboarding fans, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Heartland, and Rainbow Six Mobile, with a partnership announced with Netflix. And now for some upcoming games. September 16th brings The Dark Prophecy for the PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One and Switch, Hidden Through Time Definitive Edition for the PS4 and Switch, Various Daylight for the PS4. September 18 brings Fortnite Season 4 the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One and Switch. September 19th brings Return to Monkey Island for the PC and Switch. September 20 brings Construction Simulator for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Hard Space Shipbreaker for the PS5 and Xbox Series X, Solstice for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X, And September 22 brings the Dio Field Chronicle for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One and Switch, Gundam Evolution for the PC, Potion Permit for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One and Switch, Serial Cleaners for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One and Switch, Session, Skate Sim for the PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4 and Xbox One, Slime Rancher 2 for the PC and Xbox Series X, Train Life, a railway simulator for the PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One. That's it this week in gaming news.
Can we just give myself a little bit of a shout out for reading out all the console names?
You're so good at it. Behind the curtain here, the hardest part of doing the news is just recording yourself being like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X,
Switch.
PC, Switch.
I saw the Gundam one. I was like, just one PC?
You're just like, it's
a breath of air. Yeah, that's a little peek at the behind the scenes.
My first thought when I heard the train one go was when the mic comes on, just go trains.
Yeah.
And that's all that's been going on in my brain.
But that's really not the part of the news that we should be focusing on. There's so much.
Shoes.
Shoes. I want the boots so badly. I missed out on when the moon boots came out, when the moon was introduced to Destiny 2.
Not the moon boots from our childhood.
No.
Those death traps.
No. We do not condone the usage of those. Those are highly dangerous.
Trampolines for your feet.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Somebody did, and lots of kids had them.
Remember pogo sticks?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to those?
I'm
Anyway,
trying to
shoes.
Shoes. This just looks so
They look really cool.
tactical, kind of subtle.
I want to wear them and step on things.
I wish I could wear them to work, but work is kind of dirty. I don't want these boots to get dirty.
True.
I'm not normally, I need to keep my shoes in pristine condition, but I think these would be, I would be like,
I want to wear them on...
Have you seen my shoes? Look how scuffed these are.
I mean, have you seen mine? The
Yeah.
sheaths of the shoelaces have started
Beautiful.
disintegrating.
We love it.
We need new shoes.
Wear
We need new
things
shoes.
until they die.
Oh.
But also, I need
Donate
new
to
shoes.
4 Triple Z to get us new shoes.
I'm a size 7.5. But
The
yeah.
other thing, the other really big thing.
Oh my god. The bomb?
I'm really struggling to understand.
The note itself was described as rambling, so I can't imagine that someone who sends a bomb in to a university can't exactly be the most
Well, no. They don't really.
stable person.
No.
Look,
But they don't criticize
Mark
the Zuck.
Zuckerberg, yeah. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of old Marky Boy, but like I'm not gonna... The poor employee as well is the one who actually got hurt by it.
Yeah,
like,
I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say,
not
were
like
they
they
trying
sent it to like
get it
Facebook
to-
headquarters or like Mark Zuckerberg's giant Hawaiian compound.
it's just
Yeah,
really
I was like,
confusing.
were they trying to get it to Mark Zuckerberg? Because I feel like they're really
doesn't
not
seem
sending
that
it.
way.
It's-
Yeah, no.
it was just like this is pretty recent stuff, so like there's
Yeah.
still a lot of like
Well, it's
It
still
sounds
under
like the
investigation.
Unabomber is back, but
Interesting.
way more boring.
Oh my god.
we do not endorse the Unabomber.
No.
Sucks.
That's
Don't.
a
I'm
throwback.
pretty sure he's still in prison, so...
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, but on lighter news, Nintendo and Zelda and
Did you-
yelled.
Didn't they apparently sort of like delay the announcement
They
for a little
Yeah,
bit?
did
I-
not broadcast Nintendo Direct live into the UK
Interesting.
because the new game is called The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, look. That's fair. That seems like
I can understand wanting to be especially sensitive
sensitive,
during this
yeah.
time. Can you imagine being like really hyped about this game, announcing this game, being like, oh, all these Zelda fans are going to be like absolute, oh, they're going to cheer, they're going to start popping the champagne and stuff, and then...
Don't worry, listeners. We are not going to talk about the British monarchy. We're just
Oh, I
talking
really
about Zelda
just-
because it's funny.
Yeah. You hear about the Queen dying, you're like, oh, we call it Tears of the King. Oh, we can't.
I
I
really enjoy the
appreciate
way-
that they thought about that and decided we're not going to do that. But at the same time, and I know that people would get up in arms about it if they had broadcast it in the
Yeah.
UK, but the name existed before the unfortunate timing. So, at the same time, you're like,
I'm not going to fault them
No.
for it being sensitive about it.
absolutely not.
Some sensitivity in this day and age could
Go a long way.
yeah,
Can we please let Mario and the Rabbids
Oh,
die? I'm so sick of seeing Mario cross Rabbids. Who
Those
thought that was a good
ugly
idea? Why did
little-
that ever exist?
The Rabbids director. I
No.
forget his name, but he also made Beyond Good and Evil.
What was that?
I was trying to remember.
Okay, I
For
was
listeners,
like,
Hazel
is this
did a bit of
helping?
like a money gesture with
Yeah.
her hands, with both hands, like.
Okay, but the most
I was
important
gathering my
news,
thoughts.
which wasn't even in the news, is that The Sims 4, the base game, is going to be permanently free from the 18th of October.
I've heard a lot of theories about why they're doing that now.
All of the expansions go up $10.
Yeah, which I think we should get into later in
Yeah.
the episode, because I feel like there's a lot that we can unpack.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. If you already own the game, they do have something for you as well. You get a free,
Oh.
you get a free kit, so you don't feel completely.
Like you wasted your money
Yeah.
because you didn't choose to wait for like 10 years.
No. Lots of people did pick up The Sims 4 base game for free in like the weekend deals where you could get the game for free.
Yeah, I remember
Because
that.
that has happened a lot
Yeah.
over the past couple of years, but know that from October 18th, I think that is the correct date, it will be free permanently.
Exciting.
Coming up now, we have a review from Paul of Lost in Play.
Lost in Play is an adventure game by new Tel Aviv-based studio Happy Juice. The small team of veterans formed the studio with the goal of pushing the boundaries of animated adventure games. Now, point-and-click adventure games have certainly fallen out of the mainstream in recent times, but they've never disappeared entirely, cultivating small and passionate fan bases. There are a few issues that historically plagued the genre, namely moon logic, when the player doesn't have any idea how to solve a puzzle and just tries every item combination they can think of. Some games ran on the concept exclusively. The Doodle God games are just a long series of rubbing one thing against the other. The genre's other big selling points, story and puzzles, got absorbed into bigger games, from full-on cinematic 3D action games to pure exercises in puzzling. Lost in Play is aiming for mass appeal, however, although aimed at a younger audience, and hopefully it can get its chance before that new Monkey Island game releases imminently. The first thing you'll notice about the game is the fantastic 2D animation, among the best I've ever seen. The visual style is close to a show like Gravity Falls, and the animation is almost always bespoke for every situation, and filled with charming details. The game, whilst fully voiced, has no dialogue, and communication between characters is done pictorially, with the voiced audio being a charming gibberish similar to Simlish. This even extends into the game's soundtrack. You begin in the dream of the young girl protagonist, and it operates as an interactive opening credits sequence and tutorial before waking up in your bedroom where your brother is fast asleep. The story from here will involve getting your brother awake and outside to play, at which point the world becomes a full-blown children's fantasy, and they must overcome obstacle after obstacle to return home. A friendly warning here, this isn't a Bridge to Terabithia situation. You're not going to suddenly need to confront mortality or anything. The game is structured into 15 short chapters along your adventures. It reminds me a little of the old Goblins games, without the constant death, a reference I'm sure a couple of you enjoy, where instead of a traditional LucasArts or Sierra-style adventure, where you have a larger world to explore and multiple threads to follow, you have a limited space and options you must complete before moving on to the next scenario. The effect of which makes this a good game to sit down and play a section of, or even ration time if playing with a child. Difficulty-wise, the game is generally not too taxing. The solutions are clear, and I didn't ever find myself trying random objects to get a solution. But this is where the game's best trick is. The aforementioned moon logic is still present in the game, but not in the puzzle solutions. Because it's a fantasy world for children, with a focus on comedic animation, often the result of your solution is surprising and genuinely funny. We're not talking deep witticisms here, but well-timed physical comedy and unexpected reactions abound. The moon logic is in the result, not the puzzle solving itself. Each chapter also tends to vary up the base gameplay, switching you between the children, sometimes controlling both individually with the ability to change between them, and even other characters you encounter. Back to difficulty though. As I say, the game is generally not taxing, more focused on fun discoveries. Each chapter tends to have a more traditional puzzle though. One in particular I recall was a variation on chess and Connect 4, where all the pieces were crabs. It's a pretty clever game, perhaps borrowed from somewhere else, but it was new to me. Well, I played the game around a dozen times because the AI just wouldn't fall for my tricks. It's not impossible, but might make a young child frustrated. But honestly, 10 and up would probably enjoy the challenge of these. In fact, most of these more puzzles are extremely creative, and I only mention because they could hamper younger kids. But that's also a reason it could be fun to play together. And also, maybe we don't need to underestimate the kids so much. Plus, if you're an older player like me, it gives you a little bit to think about in an otherwise extremely chill game. The game is also downright well designed. One section, for instance, has you sailing a boat. To give some feeling of size to the area, it takes some time to sail from one point to the other. The first time. After that, it just zips you from the next point of interest. It's not there to waste your time. Later on in the game, you make your final journey home, and there's a wonderfully animated montage showing the adventures you had on your final path. It feels if only they had the time and money, all those sections could have been awesome playable chapters, and it made me wish that they were. It does look great though. There's been a few games this year where I've excused lackluster gameplay for amazing aesthetics, and in this case I don't need to. It's an excellent example of its genre, and truly gorgeous to watch, full of charm and genuine humour. The biggest downfall is its length, which isn't crazy short for the production level and style. I just really enjoyed it and wanted more. The game will take most players around 4.5 hours, longer if you're a young kid who just wants to play around. I played the game on Switch with code provided by the publisher, and it's also available on PC via Steam and GOG.
Crabs.
Thanks, Paul.
Can I just say thank you all. I really appreciated that Paul included that little bit that this isn't a bridge to Terabithia kind of situation, because it does sound very sweet and it sounds very charming, and you're like, oh, it's so whimsical, and that's how it gets you. So
I'm still not over that.
No one is. That was heart-wrenching, but no, that sounds like a lovely game to play with some youth, some younglings, some hatchlings.
I'm not.
Children?
All of my friends' children are like babies.
Oh, we'll give them a few years. They'll stop being babies in a few years. Yeah, I hear they grow out of it.
Do they?
Yeah. It's quite common.
Because I know some people that are objectively
when I say
older,
it's quite common, it doesn't mean that it happens to everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the majority of the time, they grow out of the whole being a baby, but sometimes.
Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And, that's your warning, children, if you're listening.
Something I don't think Paul mentioned is he didn't mention if you could play it with your cat. So.
Oh yeah.
Paul.
Some really shoddy journalism.
That's the part. Thanks for catching that, Hazel.
Yeah.
Because I was so focused on the crab puzzle, I was just like, I forgot about this very important criteria that we judge all games against. Can you play it with your cat?
Can I play it with my son, who has 4 legs?
4 legs.
Look.
No brains.
Don't do him like that on air.
He doesn't even know what I'm saying. He's not listening to the radio.
He's probably back home listening.
No, he's not. You know what? It's fine.
It's fine. Let's move on.
You can play it and tell us whether or not you can play it with your cat.
Yeah.
I probably can't play it with my cat. He does definitely not have a brain.
Hey, why is it? Why can
it's okay
you?
for me to say he's my cat.
Yeah. Like, you can't insult somebody's baby, but they can insult their own child.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Yep. I'm hearing it now. I apologize. It wasn't my place.
You can bully your siblings, but if anybody else bullies your sibling...
Yeah, these fists are flying.
We've got Zahra fired
I'm powering up.
So you're listening to Zed Games, is that it?
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games. You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're listening to Zed Games. My name's Hazel, and I'm here in the studio with Zahra and Rani.
Yay.
And we need to talk.
We need to talk about The Sims 4.
Yes.
And how, friendly listeners, maybe you're not friendly, I don't know. Anyway.
Hostile
listeners. All of you.
All of you out there hate listening on your drive home.
This is for you. The Sims 4 is going to be free permanently.
Yeah.
The base game. The
base game.
Not any of the however many expansion
the
packs
10
we're up
trillion
to.
expansions.
The base game is going to be permanently free from the 18th of October. Which means that you can just pick that one up for yourself if you've never played The Sims 4. The Sims 4 has been out for a long time now. We don't know if The Sims 5 is actually going to happen.
Like, I honestly, up until now, I thought that The Sims 5 was never going to happen. I thought it'd just keep developing Sims 4 over and over and over because that's just what they've been doing. They've been making improvements to it. There's all the expansion packs, obviously, and everything. And I thought, yeah, you know what, they can do that forever. But perhaps they've hit their limit. They're like, you know what, this sandbox is too small now. We're going to move to the desert.
They haven't done this before. You still have to pay for The Sims 3. You still have to pay for The Sims 2.
Although there have been a couple weekends where you were able to just
pick things up for
grab
free.
things.
So now the other thing is, if you're like the rest of us that already own The Sims 4, paid for it, or picked it up in a free weekend, you do get something as well. You get a free kit. So The Sims 4 introduced kits recently. They're about 10 Australian dollars, I think. They're like $5 US, so they're around the $10 mark here.
Yeah.
They're like not quite stuff packs. So if you already own The Sims 4, you can redeem a free kit. It's really cute. If you go to the store, it's like 100% off. And you're like, thanks.
Toby just messaged in to say, for The Sims 4,
yes,
there have been 12 expansion packs, 12 game packs, 18 stuff packs, 15 kits, and 1 free pack. So a total of 58 expansion DLC kind of content.
So expansion packs usually cost you about what, like 40?
Yeah, it depends on what it is.
So an expansion pack will include another world. A game pack is usually playthings like careers and stuff like that. A stuff pack is stuff.
Yeah, another
a kit is like a smaller version of a stuff pack. So usually a kit focuses on one thing, like the create a sim or furniture or something like that. Yeah. So that's how they'll keep making their money. When it comes to The Sims 4, that's how they keep making their money, and that's where they've been making most of their money for a long time.
And it does make sense for them to release the base game for free, even if they don't announce The Sims 5, because once you get into The Sims at all, once you're in,
you want the expansions. Yeah.
So the only times I've played any of The Sims, because, I loved The Sims when I was a kid, but now it's so complicated.
Now you'd rather, live life than fantasize it.
I was stressing out about, making my Sims shower and everything, and I was like, damn, I need a shower in real life. Most of the times that I've played The Sims in recent years was to create, rooms and stuff and use them as a reference for artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Because then I get things set up the way I need it to, just take a screenshot or whatever, and then just use that as a guide.
Yeah.
So even if you don't care about The Sims, but you're an artist, it's
fun to have.
Yeah.
I haven't played The Sims 4 in a little while. I loaded it up recently, and I just wasn't prepared to go down the rabbit hole of being on The Sims 4 all day, every day for the next 2 weeks, building and creating a life and all of that. But the thing that drew me back last time was the cottage living expansion pack, because I could live out my cottagecore dreams. Yeah. And look, guys, I'm basic. It's fine.
Did you ever play any of the spin-off Sims games?
I had Sims Mobile.
Sims Mobile?
I remember the Sims Mobile.
I remember like Sims 2. It was like in a hotel in a desert.
Oh yeah. I had that one.
I played that.
Was that the one on the DS?
Yeah. It was on the DS. And honestly, I'd play it late at night. When I wasn't meant to be playing games. I was meant to be well in bed, and it was so eerie.
Yes.
So spooky.
I remember it being unsettling.
Yeah, extremely unsettling because you're in the middle of nowhere. You don't fully understand what's going on. You just know there's something going on. There's figures coming and going. It's dark all the time and you're like, oh
what is happening?
I would argue that the point of the DS was to stay up in bed playing games when you
Well,
weren't
I mean,
meant to be.
yes, but my mother didn't. My mother didn't know that, so...
Yeah.
I don't remember my parents ever taking my DS off of me. But I think also they didn't... I don't know if my parents really cared. They knew that I stayed up to read, so staying up to play video games. So I do remember they put a lock on the computer because I was playing too much Sims 3.
Yeah.
And I knew how to get past the lock on the computer because I knew all of their passwords because I was an evil child.
Well, I mean, it's not hard to figure out family members' passwords.
No.
Their passwords are not great.
Here are my passwords.
I feel like up until before I was a teenager, my mom was, it's your bedtime, lights out, nothing on, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Eyes closed, I'm to be checking on you, and, she'll actually check in on us. Once I hit a teenager, she was just like, well, look, I can try to force you to go to sleep, but I think I'll just let you experience natural consequences, and the natural consequences will be I'll be tired at school.
Yeah.
Which was like, fair enough. Thanks, Mom.
But then your mum has to put up with you being a grumpy teenager.
Well,
Thanks,
I was
Mum.
at school being a grumpy teenager,
Yeah,
so
but
she
at
didn't have
the
to
end
put
of the day, you're like the grumpiest because
Well-
you're tired, you've had school, and then your mum's asking you, "How is school, sweet?" I don't know. Maybe this is just me. Like maybe
would just
I
come
just have
home
a
and pass
bad
out.
attitude.
We're kind of like, all right, we're a bit of a latchkey kids, sort of just like came home. I'd make my sisters do their homework sometimes.
See, yeah, I came home, I did my homework, I ate a bunch of food,
Yeah.
and then I didn't want to eat dinner because I'd eaten a big afternoon snack.
Yeah, no, I was always hungry all the time. I would have like the most ginormous mug of Milo as soon as I came home from school.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I was always like asleep by 10. I didn't play too many games during the school term. It was always school holidays. That's it. Gaming, going out with friends. I didn't have friends. I had friends. I didn't go out. I had like 2 friends. Yeah.
We're talking a little bit about
No, this is why The Sims was so
Yeah,
important to me.
yeah.
Right? This is why I spent all day on The Sims. I didn't have friends in real life. I wasn't getting invited out places in real life. I had to create that for myself. But then I would spend like YouTube rabbit holes on Sims building.
yeah.
So that is the thing like about The Sims 4 that I think I love the most is like building in The Sims 4.
I mean,
which has like it's very iffy.
My ASMR back then was watching my sisters play The Sims and just watching them build and demolish and then build again. And I was just, this is so chill. And then that's what I'd fall asleep to.
Yeah.
I can't miss that.
they do curved walls in The Sims 4 now too. I've been waiting my entire life for curved walls. That's also recent.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, because you used to have to make like
how do you put furniture
what
against
shape
it?
name is that? I don't know, but curved walls exist in real life. How do you put furniture against those?
You don't.
Exactly.
Or you get like a curved couch or something.
That's where you have those fancy rooms where the couch is in the middle of the room.
Ooh,
That's like real rich people rooms.
It's like you can't hang anything on the walls. The walls are curved.
I could build a Rapunzel tower. I'm gonna build a Rapunzel tower.
Oh,
I'm gonna build a Rapunzel tower.
You see those Sims from Hammerfell?
No.
They've got curved walls.
Oh my god.
Curved walls. We need to move along. You're listening to Zed Games. My name is Hazel. I'm here with Zahra and Rani.
Hello.
And it's time for us to say goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm gonna cry.
It happens every time.
I'm gonna go cry now.
I'm so bummed.
I'm ready for food.
I've been working all day.
Yeah, it's bedtime.
I'm so sad.
It's okay, Zahra.
But we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
okay.
will.
Well, I won't be.
Oh,
Yeah.
who knows?
It's fine. I mean, I won't be. I'm gonna be at a wedding.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, la-di-da.
Sorry. That thing that people do as we get older is that they get married and you have to support them.
No, oh, no.
No.
Well,
it's fine. We have other people that will be here.
it's time for us to say goodbye.
Good
Good
night.
night.
And I love you.
And I do love you.
Good
I love you
night.
all.
Good night. Hostile
Even the
listeners.
hostile listeners.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.